No, don't do it. You support the friggin' idiots who run the joint.
We'll
just have a minute of silence in this one, right? How's that sound?
Nah.
Even ANZAC knew this was happening, like a dead one.
They'd
They
be
would
rolling
kill
in their
themselves
grave.
round 2.
They would just, you know, run up the hill to the Turks. Said fuck it.
Oh, Rainbow.
Yeah, I'll go.
I played Battlefield 1 and I actually really understood their pain. I played that.
Yeah,
Really
especially on those.
All the boys want to do is go to the pub, so and
I really got it when I did that.
Especially on those
Ваше благородие, господин!
Oh, yeah.
Double
I'll
damage.
put a line down, guys. Get on the line.
Is this so? Is
Which
this
server
the-
is this?
Yeah, which server are we in?
This is still the same server.
Oh shit, I left.
No, it's okay. If you don't want to get on, you don't have to.
No, I'll come back. I'll come back.
I'm just gonna use this as an opportunity to do my fucking attendance. Alright guys, our line is just behind one section's line, so look for our uniform.
Might get off. Could you put me for attendance? Farrah? I don't
Yeah,
know
of
if
course.
Me
You
coming
shut
in late.
up. You went played. That's
He
all
actually
I can
missed.
ask.
He missed the first 2 rounds, so he is a troll.
That's okay.
No, he's a troll.
Thanks for coming along, I'm happy.
You're off to main section, Walter. Sorry about it. Sorry, man.
God, I really don't want that to become a threat.
It is a threat though, because everyone fucking fears main section.
Господин,
ваше
благородие!
Have fun, Soviet.
Yeah, fun too,
If I
Walter.
don't see you in main section next week, then yeah, I'll see you next week.
Are you actually going to main section?
No, I'm saying
you're
if
better
I
than
if
that,
I
bro.
don't see you in main section,
Oh, gotcha. I got it.
then I'll see you next week.
I think I'm gonna get to stay. I think.
Well, you're a great one. I'm sure you can stay.
Mm.
Have a good one, buddy.
You too, not you too. Nighty night.
User disconnected from your channel.
Oh yeah, I see. Everyone's lined up in there. God, someone's gonna fucking soundboard. I'm just gonna mute so I don't have to hear it.
Господин!
Present arms, it looks better.
Present arms like
Being
there.
a dynasty,
Press V and it's the one all the way on the right.
Dude, is
Can
that
3
cool?
sections to go on stage?
No, I saw that you posted
It's
that.
like
It's so good.
Oh, shack.
It's a flight. You filthy Ivy dog and style. Smell your own shit from here.
You shut the fuck up, drum.
Murphy, you still here?
My Be fucking respectful.
Господин!
Silence, please.
Ваше
Silence.
благородие!
Thank you.
Do I need to be on your left, Farrah?
I'll move next space with you. I think we just moved to silent.
Oh, sure.
Just shut the fuck up. I'm gonna cool.
Oh, of course, they're fucking throwing it in.
fucking respect, yeah.
Сударь!
Some respect for the video game, bro.
Oh, hey, firework.
What happened to this minute?
Стой! Держать
Fireworks
позицию!
just scared the life out of me.
Ура!
Before dawn,
How?
on the 25th of April, 1915, the first soldiers of the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps landed on the shores of
Помогите!
The men were part of a British and French-led invasion. The Allies'
Мародеры
mission
и
was to destroy
воры!
Turkish guns that were preventing naval ships from reaching and bombarding the Turkish capital,
Сука, бля!
Constantinople. If they succeeded, Turkish
Ура!
forces might be able to be
Слазь, государь! Пошел нахуй!
Some
Отечество!
Australians were killed
Слуги
or wounded on the
Антихриста!
25th of April.
Бей,
It was a day of
басурман!
confusion.
That's pretty much how I
One
expected, Farrah.
soldier called it a day
За
of
Отечество! За Отечество! Moment of silence, huh?
Yeah,
За Отечество!
good.
Anyone
actually
hear
hear
what
what
What's up?
And why is it
So that when he whispers, he can see that his whisper's going through.
less than others, but they could go no further. For the next 8 months,
muted
the
character
campaign
phrase.
was
There we
down. In December, the
За
Anzacs were
Отечество!
evacuated.
Fucking shut
За
up.
первый царя!
About 8,700 Australians and almost 2,700 New Zealanders had been killed. They were some
Like to
of at
see
least
why free attention is big.
130,000
Первая
soldiers on
шеренга!
both sides who lost their lives at Gallipoli. Anzac Day has been one of the most important dates of Australia's calendar since 1916. Can you guys stop? Just making walk across.
За первый царя!
At first, it gave people a chance to honour the original Anzacs.
I
the
hope
Australians
that's none
and
of
New
you.
Zealanders who fought on Gallipoli. Then it became a day for those who had served. I'm going to mute you if you keep talking. Who fought onwardly. Then it became the day for those who had served in the First World War, with Australians experiencing the Second World War. Conflicts and peacekeeping operations that had followed. ANZAC Day has become an occasion to honour all who have worn our country's uniform in service. Today, we reflect on that service. We recognise more than 100,000 Australian servicemen and women who have lost their lives in military operations carried out. These missions were carried out in our country's name. We honour the values that have been invested in original Anzacs: loyalty, selflessness, courage, and the ways in which later generations have measured their own achievements against those of the soldiers who fought on Gallipoli. Right, I'd just like to remind everyone that those who did do war cries and, started talking, that's really disrespectful. Now, I'd like to invite anybody, legit anybody, to come up and do their little speech. So, if you'd like to do a speech of your own, don't feel shy, by the way. Just jump. Jump like this.
I'll come up, sir.
God, I
Right,
want to
first.
fucking
We'll
hear
just do
that.
this one at a time, okay?
This is gonna be good.
Oh God.
That's a quality mark.
Social anxiety. The
On
event.
behalf of the United States, to our brave allies, the Australians, along with many other countries that served along with us, both in World War I and World War II, I thank you all. My grandparents fought for World War I and World War II, and we have all lost people on both sides of the war. If you had family members who also served, we thank you. If you are currently serving, we again thank you. To everyone here, thank you for following them and joining us tonight, or today.
Can I get everyone
And
to
again,
present, please?
Salute.
Present arms.
Can you
There's
please
the
give a
feed,
21 gun salute to all the brave soldiers that have
First one.
died,
You look like you've done
both
some
in the
little-
past and present.
Alright, everyone present.
Present in the air, guys.
You!
Fire!
Ваше благородие!
Thank you, everyone.
Ваше благородие!
Thank you.
Alright. The next person come up. Okay? Alright, beautiful.
Fix the line.
Get a
Hog position.
Monsieur!
tomorrow in the darkness before dawn.
Ваше
The Anzac
благородие!
stormed ashore in a place now known as
Monsieur!
Anzac
Vive
Cove.
la France!
It was
Monsieur! Vive la France!
sorry.
Monsieur!
It was both of our countries' first
благородие!
major contribution to
Laters.
Anzac, only being 14 years old and New Zealand being 7 years old.
Ваше благородие!
2,000 Anzacs were dead, but through perseverance, courage, and comradeship,
That's so funny, you fucking idiot. What the fuck?
it was certainly a baptism of
Vive
fire.
la France!
The campaign lasted another 8 months until 3,500,000 Anzacs remaining were evacuated. We should never forget their deeds, courage, and fortitude of those original Anzacs. At Lone Pine, in just over 2 days, 7 Victoria Crosses were awarded for valour to Australians. 1 to Cyril Bassett from New Zealand. I thought I'd include a New Zealander. They established a tradition and national pride that we should all be proud to follow. These Anzacs and many thousands of other men and women went on to fight in intense battles in Europe, where small village names are etched in our history. Fromelles, Boulencourt, and Mont Saint-Quentin, to name a few. We remember the terrible losses of trench war in Europe and the brilliant victories of General Sir John Monash and the Anzac Corps in France, 1918. Of course, there are many other names from other wars where Anzac lives were lost in the cause of a better world. We remember the airmen who flew in hazardous missions over Europe in World War II, the gallant pilots who fought in the victory at Mill Bay, We remember the sailors and submariners who are away from home for long periods on hazardous missions, fighting to keep the vital sea lanes open on HMS Sydney and at the Battle of Midway and Coral Sea. There were battles near our homeland in the inhospitable terrain of New Guinea. We remember those who became prisoners of war. Later, ANZACs fought with distinction in Korea and the Battle of Kapyong Springs. We took part in campaigns such as Borneo and Malaya. Our longest ever commitment to a conflict was in Vietnam, where over almost 8 years, 4,600 Australian men and women served, some volunteers and some conscripts, but all there to do their duty. But ANZAC Day is not a commemoration of the victories or defeats of the Australian and New Zealand armed forces at war. Instead, we simply remember that individual ordinary Australian and New Zealand men and women were prepared to make personal sacrifices, many who gave their lives for the freedom and quality of life that we enjoy today. On ANZAC Day, we pay tribute to all current and former members of the Australian Defence Force, those lost in training on operations, the wounded, injured and ill. In all my reading of World War I and the original ANZAC, some images come to mind. Firstly, they were men and women of great character, resilience, selfishness and perseverance. They looked after each other and would never consider leaving a comrade behind. Officers shared the same hardships and danger equally with all their soldiers. And finally, they possessed an enormous desire to do their duty for their country. While they were not professional soldiers, once convinced that the war was for a just cause, they made the commitment and got on with the job with energy and initiative. They took great pride in knowing what Australians could do and matched it with the best in the world, and they were successful as a result. The spirit of ANZAC is as relevant today to all of us as it was all those years ago. We need to be vigilant that our society remains one that values freedom, tolerance and a fair go for all. We need to maintain this sense of commitment, courage and perseverance.
Someone tell
to
that
get through
drummer
the
to
tough
join the
times,
line, please.
especially now. The need for
Is it
us
a
to
pub?
look after each other is probably greater now than at any other time
No,
in
he
the
is the one.
past, and
Never mind.
ANZACs continually showed this sense of humanity and compassion. The ANZACs focused on what was really important, as we must do today in our everyday lives, and the qualities exemplified by those ANZACs are of great relevance to use here today. I will end with a poem. They shall not grow old, as we that are left to grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun, and in the morning, we will lest we forget.
Lest we forget.
Lest we
forget.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget.
Viva la baguette.
Alright, lest we forget. Alright, is there anyone else? Yep.
This is...
Awesome.
So the last person who spoke put it very well into why we should honor the ANZAC spirit. So I'm not going to try to do that. Instead, I'd like to sort of give my own personal experience. I was lucky enough to be involved in the ANZAC Day dawn ceremonies over in France at Philippe. And just being there on the battlefield in which those men fought is very eerie. When you get to the Australian National Memorial in France, it's a lone single tower overlooking the graves of just a small handful of Australian and New Zealand soldiers. And on the walls are some 14,000 men who died in France and on the Western Front and have no known graves. And just seeing the names of those young men, you realize that these soldiers were not just people who went without any reason to. They left behind friends, families, brothers, sisters. And yet, when they went into the absolute hellfire of combat, they didn't falter. They stood side by side with their mates, and they paid for for their sacrifice. It's hard to imagine what it is, because let's face it, not many of us would have experienced combat. But what I think is really important to remember from those men is sticking beside your mate, never giving up, and make sure to uphold the values that we hold dear to us. I don't think I can say anything else, but lest we forget.
Lest we forget. Lest we forget. Lest we forget. Lest we forget. Lest we forget. Lest we forget.
Can I give the speech right now?
I'm Russian.
Go for it, brother.
Wait, who's making a speech?
I would like to make a speech next.
Right, you get first.
I'll wait.
You just want to stand up here? Stand up here, come up here.
Okay. As you know, I'm from 1st Person Army, the Russian regiment that plays with you guys. And as Russian, I would like to say some words. And these words I can say is this. First of all, the reason why the Gallipoli operation was launched was in order to help Russians in the Caucasus, in order to let Turks Turks basically brought Turks into two-front war. There could be two fronts in the Dardanelles, Gallipoli, and the Caucasus. But as we probably know, this operation was not very successful, despite soldiers of ANZAC showed their strength and showed their courage in this battle. I would say these men sacrificed their lives not only for their motherlands, not only for Britain and in France, but they sacrificed their lives also for Russia. Soon we will talk about how Russia sacrificed many lives in World War II to save Europe from the Nazis. But I would like to say that how ANZAC sacrificed 11,000 men in order to save Russia from the collapse and from the attacks of the Turks. I would like to say, I would like to we forget these young men.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget.
Excellent speech, mate.
Alright, next person.
Thank you.
Next speech.
Yeah, good speech, mate.
Awesome. Right, we'll just do two more.
I'm not part of a regiment here, but it has brought me hope tonight to even be celebrating this with you guys. So I actually just want to come out here and just say thank you. It is a great honour to be a New Zealander and be part of this great server that celebrates things like this. So I just want to make it quick that I thank you, and for the representing people that can't be here tonight, that we thank you for all the people that are showing respect and showing dignity to the fallen soldiers. So thank you. Lest we forget.
Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. Lest we forget. Lest we forget. Lest we forget.
Lest we forget. Give me a second. I had family members that fought in the Second World War. My great-grandfather and his brother both fought in Papua New Guinea, and both walked the Kokoda Trail. They sacrificed a many years and their time spent away from their family. Fortunately enough, they were both able to come back home, but many of their friends and mates didn't. Every year, go to ANZAC in the morning, dawn service.
User disconnected from your channel.
Honour those of his mates and of my great grandfather, of the of what they did and that's what they've given us, and I thank them, and thank all the Anzacs and all those that were before them, lest we forget.
User joined your channel.
Lest we forget.
User left your channel.
Alright, we'll do one more speech. Do you do a speech? No, I'll take that as no. Alright. Now we'll be sending the last post, and then we'll be doing a minute's silence right after the last post.
Speech?
Well done,
User joined your channel.
yeah, sure.
User
Have
left
one
your
short one.
channel.
So I'm from Turkey. I'm sorry for my bad accent, and I want to give a speech. Hello, my friends from other part of the world. I'm Mikok from Çanakkale, Turkey, which is located on Gallipoli. My granddad's granddad actually fought in the Gallipoli against Anzacs, but during ceasefire he wrote a diary, which he says in that diary, "Yedi düvelde en saygın düşmanla savaşıyoruz," which translates as, "We are fighting against the most honorable enemy in the world." He actually made friends in Gallipoli, and some of the friends were actually his foes, Anzacs. And never forget our great brother Atatürk says, "Your sons are now in lying our bosom, and are in peace. After having lost their lives on this land, they have become our sons as well. May they rest in peace."
User joined your channel.
I see you're enjoying the speech, no refunds.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Very riveting.
I totally
Did you hear my
went.
speech?
Yes.
Yes. Good job.
Yes, good speech.
Lest we forget.
Let's
Yeah, man, it was a great speech, bro.
Lest we forget.
It was almost a waste of time
Good
coming
job,
here to that last one. That was nice.
Shut the fuck up, whoever said that.
User left your channel.
К черту пошли!
Alright. Thank you, everyone for coming. Can I get everyone to present arms into the air?
Oh shit, I didn't reload.
Neither.
Can we give it a second to reload?
Fire! Thank you for coming. Really appreciate it. Have a fantastic night.
Can the bomb.
Teacher. KRA, thank you for a wonderful event, sir.
Thank you.
Good night, good night. Thank you.
Let's take it again. Thank you, Creepy.
Let's give it a
Oh, speech by the Turkish dude is actually pretty nice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'll figure.
User was moved to your channel. User
Well, that happens.
your channel. Your channel was edited.